there's nothing wrong with faking it till you make it.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with it because
Really?
I believe that once you perceive something, you work towards it. That is it.
Good evening going out to you, kings and queens. We welcome you to the One King Show live here at Onekingmultimedia. My name is Hetty. You can also call me Hettylicious. Kindly subscribe to our socials at Onekingmultimedia. Join the fun and let's have a good time. The show is proudly sponsored by One King Mineral Water. Let's take a quick 10, and when we are back, I'll introduce my people. Joining the conversation tonight, I have Cristero with me, I have Brament, and I have Richard Kobe Woolley also joining me. And the conversation on the table is an interesting one. That is the big plate. And over here we discuss interesting, informative, and educative topics, to the interest of our viewers out there. And so tonight, the conversation is fake it till you make it syndrome. Yes, you heard me. Fake it till you make it syndrome. And this is a thought-provoking exploration of human, psyche. And, delving into the phenomenon of people pretending to be someone they are not in pursuit of success, acceptance, and validation. So this is where we get to start the conversation. So let's look at the struggle for self-acceptance in the society and authenticity. These are some of the reasons why people try to be things or people they are not, just so they can fit into the society. Cristero, let's look at that one.
So, self-acceptance.
The struggle, how people struggle to be a fit in a society.
It's a difficult thing. I mean, it is something that has different backgrounds to it. But one thing about self-acceptance is the fact that you can learn to accept yourself. It is something that can be learned. You can learn to accept yourself. But why do people even deny themselves? You understand? They feel that they are not part of the society. They don't accept themselves. Upbringing is one of them. Yes, upbringing. And now, if growing up, when you were a child, those who took care of you, when they made you feel that you do not belong to them, you're not part of them, this is certainly going to worry you when you grow up. Upbringing. Where you find yourself, the community, the society you find yourself in. You understand? So when it comes to people accepting themselves, it is something that is born out from, right from when you are born. It is not something that you develop when you grow up. Yes, some people do that, but most of the times it is from, when you are growing up. There are so many things around you that you look at and you think that, no, this one there, you look down upon yourself. And it is one way or the other a mental issue. Yes, it affects a person's mental well-being. So as humans as we are, it is sometimes a bit difficult trying to accept yourself, especially if you have a problem in your upbringing. You understand? You did not have people who accepted you. Your mom, your dad, or you did not meet your mom and dad, but you were taken care of by a guardian. Right from that stage, you were not accepted as part of the people you were living with. You grow up with it, and it affects you once you are a grown-up person. But there is always that hope, because you can learn to accept yourself.
Nice one. Kobe.
Yeah, so one thing is, it's your psyche and wherever you go in life. Sometimes fitting into society or every part you find yourself is very difficult, because we come from different backgrounds and there will be cultural shocks at a point, and you getting to fit into a society where probably there are things you believe in they don't believe in. So it's a mental health thing. So I feel sometimes people have this issue balance. It takes someone with a strong character. Probably we are here having a show. Someone new joins us on the show. The person would find it very difficult to fit in, because they feel like, maybe as I'm okay cramp, maybe they're not comfortable with it, and so you start asking yourself a lot of questions. So Obana also Brahmins or customers started from this angle. You want to pick it and sound like him, which is not you. So they feel, oh, when I get to that level, it'll work. Even relative to our music industry, there are a lot of artists that started as rappers, but they got to know, okay, that's how the game is like. So now they have to fake it and turn out to be Celine Dion's, have to be singing, doing all the vocal things. And at a point, when they get it, they want to tell us, oh, they can rap. No, then they want to force their own rap songs on us. A clear example, Shatawale, sorry to use him as an example though, but Shatawale got to a point in his career that he released a song and say freedom, freedom. But when he was underground, I'm not sure he would release a song titled Freedom like that. He would have to go hard, write a lot of bars and all those. So fitting into society is a tough thing. I can use myself as an example. Growing up, I grew up from a place where people were always teasing me.
Okay.
Obolo, every time Obolobo. So when as you grow, you need to accept that, okay, this is who I am.
This is who I am.
So if someone says, you shouldn't feel offended or anything like that. That is what people fail to do, and even leads to depression because they feel like so I don't to me.
Yeah.
No, we are pabo, we are femin kwambo one me share say you understand? You start asking yourself a lot of questions, and that's it for me. I feel it's fitting into society. That's the only issue.
Brahmins, let's look at societal pressures, expectations that comes with trying to fake it till you make it. How people put themselves under so much pressure.
So I would take this from a different angle. There's nothing wrong with faking it till you make it.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with it because
Really?
I believe that once you perceive something, you work towards it. That is it. But when you lose who you are in that process, that is where it becomes dangerous. Now, let me put it this way. I want to be a media person. I want to be a celebrity on the news, on radio, doing everything. You start from somewhere. So if that is faking it till you're making it, that is fine. But when now you start living the lie, forgetting the truth, that is where, as Chris said, you forget who you are. That is when there's a problem. If you need to go into a space, a group of people, and you need to be in a suit, a good suit, smelling good, that is what is going to enhance or push your conversation with them for you to get to that point. It is okay to fake it at that point till you get to the point where that
fake
actually...
it by what? By stealing?
No.
So what if you don't have it?
What I'm saying, I'm building a point that it is okay for you to be and play that particular role because at that particular time, that is what you need to be. But that is not to say that you forget that, Charlie, and you're that person that comes there, drives a V8, whatever, and comes there. If you need to take a trotro and get there, take the trotro and get there, but look good. You understand? But you go and rent without, you don't have money to rent a car. You go and rent a car to go there, to do whatever you. So you are faking it till you are making it. By the end of the day, you are losing who you are. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from. But there are times that I've had conversations with people who are big people, like they are big men. And I've had dreams of, engaging myself in some of the business and the things that they do and stuff. Charlie, sometimes when they are talking, I have little, a friend is saying, entrepreneurial business and stuff that I have done that I'm not quite in skakra. You understand? When they're talking about their big stuff, I also talk about my small stuff. But they don't know the returns I'm talking about. They are talking about returns of...
They are talking about billions. They are talking about thousands.
I am talking about thousands.
Kafra.
But at the end of the day, I don't forget that, Charlie, I am building something. So that's why I say faking it till you make it is not always bad. But when you forget who you are, you forget your roots, that is when it becomes problematic. Then you start living a lie. And sustaining a lie is so damn expensive.
Nice one. Sustaining a lie is so expensive. My mom always says, if you lie today, you have to lie tomorrow to protect the lie you said today. So meaning you always lie and lie.
You would have to be that good to flow.
Yes. Before we go for a quick commercial break, let's identify some of the mental health issues, the vulnerability, all these things that comes with faking it till you make it. Because imagine I walk into an environment where maybe my friends, how do you call it, are rich, like, from rich families. I don't have it. Imagine the mental turmoil I'll be in when I get home.
Even going for even this media space.
I'll be thinking.
You should pick it from the circle.
So how will I be able to buy the Brazilian hair when I see people celebrating their birthdays and they're giving them bouquet and they're doing do you know that these things they rent? Some of them rent.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton boxes and all those
People
things.
rent their cars and
Yes.
stuff.
The
These days
they just made me laugh.
do you know that these days they even rent luxurious hair?
Yeah.
Extension. So imagine I get into a company like this. I'll be wondering, so how will I also get money? Imagine jeans and me booming boom. That's the word, right?
You belittle yourself.
Yeah. Let's look at the mental struggles that comes with simply because I want to fit in. Is it by force?
No, sometimes you're just moved.
You see, if you want to fit in, there are positives, there are negatives. Sometimes you would have to learn to fit in. For example, you live in a society where you're not supposed to steal. But should I say you're a stealer?
You're a thief.
You're a stealer.
You're a stealer.
You're a stealer.
You understand? Society frowns on it. Charlie, even if you were born with it, you need to try to adapt to fit into the society you find yourself in. Sometimes, no matter the circumstance, you should be able to follow some societal norm. You understand? And so, there are positives to it. There are other things we can talk about when it comes to, living a life that fits the society. There are other times where you try to, fit into the society and it becomes negative on you because someone is doing A, you want
You are fitting, but it's not fitting.
That is it. Your neighbor's children, or your neighbor is putting on jeans and and all of that. You cannot afford jeans. You can afford Slate and Kaba. Why force yourself into jeans?
Buying sneakers, you have Babaji pay.
You have Babaji pay. You understand? The mere fact that you can also put on something that looks good on you, you are good to go. You understand? It does not really mean that if the person is doing A, you should also do A. No, your B people. Sometimes you might not know. You put on your B and someone putting on A or someone doing A might even jealous your B. We might not know.
Yeah.
We might not sometimes know. So for me, yes, there are positives to it, there are negatives to it, but you should always consider the positive aspect of following societal norms and fitting into the society. Because once you begin to live a fake life at a point in time, your mental well-being is affected. Yes. It becomes depression sets in, and depression is a mental health problem. How do you deal with it?
How do you deal with this? Let's take a quick turn. When we are back, the conversation still continues.
Mineral water, I've been Poncio. Shashamali says so.
Welcome back from that quick commercial break. It's still the One King Show, and this is the Big Plate. Joining the conversation is my ever beautiful Shansi. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing, baby.
I miss you. It's been years.
Hi, my entwas from Amedia.
We need emotions. But you want somebody to send you $5 million. You are not getting it.
You are not. My number.
Hey.
I miss you.
Yeah, my dad is here sounding too political. Right, so let's get into the conversation. Fake it till you make it syndrome. Now let's look at the struggle to maintain a false identity. Let me pick from Brahmins.
Hetty, the struggle there, it is real and it's a lot of work.
But for you say you support fake it.
Yes, that's
till
what
you
I'm
make
saying.
it.
You see, I said it in a context that
A
if you are
comedy or
not
macho.
if you are not losing who you are, I mean, it is good. You understand?
But it's possible you can lose it though.
That's what you see.
It's very possible.
We made
You can't try to be somebody else and still be who you are.
We made mention of the fact that you're trying to say you have friends who are all driving, and Charlie, you can still be with those friends. You don't need to go and break someone's account just to get a car.
Whose car are you driving?
You don't need to even drive.
Hey.
You understand? You can be there. You can try to rub the shoulders with them, but then no. So who need be? That's my point. I remember I said this thing here some time back that when growing up, I had this friend who was driving way back.
I remember.
He had an ATM card way back at that time.
He had a bicycle. I remember
we
that.
went to the market. He went to the boutique to go and buy whatever. I went with him. When he finished, like Charlemagne Onekingmultimedia, so matwewi yewi na meko ibrufu na meko year selection. But when I went the following day, and I wore what I had, he was like, Charlie, my own debut. You understand? So it is very expensive to maintain that, especially when you are losing yourself along the way. Because trust me, you are talking about hair and what do you call it? People renting hair and renting bouquet flowers, and people are renting cars and boyfriends and a whole lot of things.
Hey, people rent boyfriends.
It's possible.
Yes, that's critical. People have.
People rent boyfriends.
I mean, girls of today do everything and anything. Just to.
People are paying men to go on dates with them.
So some of these things, once you get into it, the possibility of you losing yourself is very high, and it is very expensive to maintain. If it is expensive and it's going to bring the results that you need positively, I mean, with what I said, you are moving with a group of corporate people who, certain places that you go, you need to smell good, you need to look good. Charlie, if Unya's cabinets or say to me, you can buy the suit, a proper executive suit, get some good perfume, some good shoes and stuff. You go, I mean, who knows? Through that meetings, you might hit some deal. And what about the other way around where it doesn't work out? You keep going and going and going, Charlie. You don't have the money, but you need to sustain it. So that is the positive and the negatives of it. But at the end of the day, Charlie, if you can really fake it to make it without losing yourself, Charlie, go ahead.
Nice one. Cristero, let's take a look at the bloodlines between the truth and the lies. How can we tell? How can we tell? Because some people are so buried in the fake life that you can't actually strike the balance or the difference between, who they really are.
So there's a thin line between, wanting to live or someone living a fake life and someone actually representing who they really are. Sometimes it will be very difficult. It takes that.
Have you watched this movie?
It's difficult trying to.
Anna Delvey.
No, I have not.
You haven't watched Anna Delvey?
No.
Wow. That is a complete, proper definition of fake it till you make it.
Okay.
You watch it after.
People, I think people.
And it
have,
happened positively for him or her.
Yeah.
So that's a good side.
And later, magazines were chasing her.
So that's a positive side I was
But
talking
she
about.
went to jail anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
People have faked it.
You fake
and
it,
made
you
it.
make it.
People have faked it and made it. Others faked and they failed. You understand? So, as I mentioned earlier, there's a thin line between some of these things. I mean, these two things: living a fake life, someone living a fake life, and someone also living, or that same person living a life which represents truly who the person he is. You understand? So, you only have to be careful trying to put the two together. For me, there are times, using myself as an example, there are times people have asked me, "But you, they see you this way. Are you?" And I'm saying, "No, I mean, I come with who I am. I don't have a certain life that I show out there, and then in my chambers, there's another life that I live. No, I make you understand that this is who I am. You understand? So there is, as I mentioned, there is a thin line between the two. It is about how you are able to, live that life that represents yourself. Yes. If you fake it and you get to that point where you cannot maintain, you cannot sustain it, it is the sustainability that kills. Yes. So when it gets to that point that you cannot sustain it, then you have to steal to make up to it. You have to steal if there is the need to do so, because now you are faking it. But Charlie, if this is who you are and you want the whole world to know that this is who you are, it doesn't also mean that because I want the whole world to know that this is who I am, you not even try to develop yourself. No. Self-development is also another key thing. So you can still be who you are and develop yourself as a person. Self-development. And if you are able to develop yourself and know who you are, you represent who you are, it gives you that self-confidence as well. You grow. I mean, it's even beautiful. Yes. And people will tend to ask you questions. People will begin to ask you, how are you able to live your life, normal life? And you see, we don't see you very flashy, but you're always within your limits and you are always present.
Nice one. Shanzi, let me come to you. So the conversation on the table is fake it till you make it. So being a media personality, people know you. You see some other media people too, taking trips to the Hawaiis, the Barbados, the Balis, Dubais, and all those things. We do the same work. See some of them rock designer, drive expensive cars, and all these things. Some people feel that they faking it till they get there is the goal. Some to feel, Charlie, mamindi milem. Nebeye. What's your assertion on this one? Do you feel that faking? Some also think that, when I fake to be that big girl, when I fake to get the lifestyle or live the lifestyle these people are living, it will actually, put me on this pedestal for people to accord me the respect, people to treat me nice. Do you support fake it till you make it?
Okay, thank you, Hetty, for this question. To first start with, some people are faking it in a positive way.
Okay.
And this fake it till you make it. Others are faking it and not making anything out of it. They are just faking it for faking sake. That is where the problem is. So if I'm supposed to go somewhere and then I need to look good, which is going to give me something positive, and then I don't have, and I go and borrow or something like that, I think, I don't feel there's anything bad.
But you're not living your true self, don't
true
you think?
Self. I mean, when I don't fit in that actual position because of maybe my looks. You understand? Maybe me committing. You find there maybe as a president Abba na say what your press meeting be na bibi na say they look good, sister. Who paying ye? And then you have to look good. And me shout to be a question president too. At the end of the day, you be on national TV, you be everywhere. So you borrowing something to wear, looking good for that particular moment is actually okay. So that when you're faking to actually get something positive out of it. Okokrana will look see okay, will questions when you might be question obi hu oh girl you're here. Mommy any age wanna be out of it. But this is the case of country be your friend Ghana. Yeni ma be or what sebio omonam. They are boring boyfriends. They are boring entire ways to look good just to make people feel like they're living okay and luxurious, but low key, mommy. You understand? And no, I live in who live the actual pressure mobi. I'm on for, but now when him say one person at the end of the day, because and you'll be on the pressure man
yeah.
You understand? And see, when you give an example that in the media work and all of that, let's not also forget that there are some people that are getting good pays or salaries when it comes to this media work. You can't compare everybody's salary, So there are people getting enough salary to live the kind of lives they live, but can acquire brabo mama porcho. The mimi de juma ye in that lifestyle of people live, sister or match.
Doesn't match.
Oh, macho. Into yet, I better say when them call for one kunu that the beer. Obey you, I mean to order you. Now I shall lifestyle will leave a your man other warrior. I would me pay. You cannot actually sponsor this kind of lifestyles. It's not possible. So if you're faking to make it, I think there's nothing wrong with that. You fake it in the positive way, but say if you fake it out of pressure, that man na none of the why ne book who they be because I'm pressure na day. Oh, yeah.
Nice one. Let's look at the consequences of deception. The disadvantages that comes with faking it. Christero, I remember I used to have a friend who tells people that she lives at East Legon. Of course, if you're a man, you would want to pick her up. There's a particular destination at East Legon where you pick her in front of a very nice building. That is her house. Yes, you actually see her coming out of it anyway. And so one time, here's the case, where she lived was that terrible. Like in Soto, Buffio. Is that bad? Now she needs a place to stay. She has already portrayed to all these big people that she lives in a mansion.
Yeah.
So because of this deception, she's not able to tell her problems.
Yeah, so you need help, and it becomes very difficult to get
Yes, so let's look at the consequences of deception.
Yes. You see, we have already mentioned that there are positives to faking and living it. And Sansi gave a very good example. You want to go and meet some big men. And there was this man that I was talking to. He's a contractor. And he tells me that if you want to get a contract from these politicians, from the government, when you are going, you should be driving a very heavy car.
For them to know that you are already okay.
Yes.
I see.
If you go there with any kind of car, they will not give you the car. They will not even look at you.
You look too hungry.
Yes, so even if you don't have that kind of car, go and look for one. Send it there. Get the contract. That is positive. You have faked it, but you have gained out of faking it. Positive. But not where you know for yourself that, you met just like the example you gave. You've met a man. For all you know, the man like you for who you are. The man is not even looking at where you're coming from. Where you stay. Probably if she had informed the man about where she stayed or where she stays, I am quite sure that the man would have helped. You understand? The man would have helped. So sometimes we put pressure on ourselves as a people. You want to fake positively. Don't fake in such a way that it brings pressure on you. You understand? You know that you cannot take your children to the most expensive schools in the community. But because your neighbor's children are attending that kind of school, you teach that you want to take them there. Meanwhile, you cannot pay the fees. So then the children, anytime it is time for examination, they would have to be sacked to come and sit in the house. No, take them to where, moderate school, where you can afford. Live within your means. When the time comes that you need to fake to represent a certain brand, to gain something positive out of it, do it. You understand? But where you would have to fake to bring pressure on you, if you live and the environment, especially you're a woman, you live in an environment, you think the environment is not clean enough, you wish to be out of that space at a certain point in your life. You meet someone, tell the person, this is where I live. Masa, you like me, you don't like me, you let me go. Don't fake to fail. Fake to win.
Nice one. Shanzi, so we are still looking at the consequences of deception. So I would give another example. So a young lady meets a gentleman. She falls in love with a gentleman. Of course, a very wealthy man. But, the lady felt that acting like a big girl will attract somebody to treat you like a big girl. And so she attracts a big man, of course, with her big girl lifestyle, meets a guy, falls in love with her, the guy falls in love with her. And now later the guy gets to find out who she really is. More like, so you faked all this while. And she has lost everything she had with the guy.
Okay, Hetty, with this kind of example, if you are faking and you want to fake, I don't know what she's going to gain here. I don't know if it was marriage or whatever she seek to gain at this point.
She faked the whole time to meet. She faked the whole time, and now she has fallen in love with a guy.
Okay, so she fakes to meet people to take care of her.
Exactly.
To say big girl, no, when you're big man now,
now she's in love. Yes.
So that is
how
the
does she
situation.
turn the story around to tell her, hey, me boy, me a poor girl. How does she turn it around?
I ask some more. And see, well, you know, and I won't with I a mistake. Kali was back at the made him kwasi asem. Don't didn't kwasi asem pa. It is sometimes no, and you might be out to them in the area. You're there area because you want to get something out of it. But and you there the madi neck of folly de king. Our ain't him call back.
No, but how can she tell I will fall?
Huh?
How can she tell that this one day I'll fall?
So you psych your brains and your mind. Since you're doing something, the whole thing that you're doing is not a reality. It is like you kind of say fantasy be a illusion. It's life now we live in and you're real. One we created our lifestyle number one home. It's a real. Into one we live our life new year. You go back to yourself, whether it's Ama, whether it's Efwa, whether it's Adwa, you go back to Adwa. Into Adwa no ni Adwa no oni intera felt. Now all the time no call Gigi now they do look at me good you know. Atasa. Into if you're faking, make sure you fake very well, plan it very well, psych your mind and you know one person low echo fall movie. Well any she nipa no so what you say him there. Nah, you know. So with this example that Christian made right now, I can't remember. I don't want it to look like me and yeah, I know of a story. So I don't want it to look like no, like I me personally pane back me. I just say
and a place safe.
I am new, but nipa no so share. They want it's minimum assembly to say abaye ye na your school. But no, ne mama money look it say, hey, ye na no on no yet the why the Kim Kardashian we him. Hey, sister yo now pressure that girl about time on now our day, you know, the baby was that man the skip of the kitchen and the sister. I know what the more. It's on no matter. I for phobia, but what to be that man now so this girl always looks like a god in her eyes. Her mother paints her as a god in her eyes, but sister, you question fear and again, and mommy what's him now. There's no one to be people, but the boy and more now, daddy. So the mother keeps, you know, having affair with men to be able to take care of this kind of lifestyle that she has already built for herself and the daughter. And she's also keeping up with this kind of lifestyle. So I bring in also or can we be the kind of family you find yourself in, or can we be? And sometimes people want to belong. Oh, but don't belong. Or you mean the main coffee? No.
One for men
can So you want to belong, so you have to be doing certain things to belong to that kind of circle, and that is something that's one can show you problem more depression, or more one can mental illness and other big them. So let's just try as much as if it is not something that is going to give us something positive, let's just live within our means and limit this kind of fake lifestyle.
Nice one. Cristero, your final words on this one.
So we are humans. Certainly at one point or the other, you see people around, people living a certain kind of life that they can afford. Yes, let that motivate you. It is not a matter of faking to meet that standard. Let that people's progress should motivate you to want to do more so you can get to that level if really that is where you want to get to. If you want to, before I started media work, I had not done I have not been in this space, but I had listened to radio. I had listened to radio. I am that radio type. I'll listen to radio from morning till evening. So I know what goes in, what comes out, and I had followed it. I never faked anywhere that, you know, this is where I am, but I had followed radio. You understand? And so it is not bad, you know, to want to be like someone who is out there. But the thing is that do not be carried away by people's progress. Let that motivate you. Once you have that in mind, you are going to get there.
And
Nice
Hetty,
one.
before you end, a Bible cast also by their fruit you shall know them. Or be package no one nice or about some oh girl, you're nice. The moment I don't start needing command when they're girl Crasinia. Chade, the package no one no for but ankasa inward no. There's nothing good in there. Into no ya can also ya can be for party me for baby or rent a car so what they girls no papa. You know a fake lifestyle ni bia. What they rent a car why you won't hack as what's one yanko one inch and a pa. No what they girls. What the girls see
What's it? What they go?
Ebe, if one put the sack, we put to them thumbs so phone order. And you know, boys also will live with fake lifestyle. Baby,
Some of them, the boys are
most
are-
of them
they are
living
faking till they'll be billionaires.
one of what I live, sure one can say. One of us a baby, and I mean, oh yes, I do this, and I know yeah, of Wakushinya. Only know what she. That should be. So, you pet, it's 9 or 1 8. Only know what she.
If he said it's hey, we'll go to
Me, but this kind of pause. They don't know, but yeah, in the way, mum, them say better boy, Kushinya.
Sika no dia.
Fake life sister.
Sika
Yeah,
no
I had them for one boy sika the one find to turn your fan bro one of my surprise. When you na you come my best one.
A nice way of ending the show today. Thank you so much for your time on the One King Show. Subscribe to all our socials at One King Multimedia. And thank you for your time once again. We are back same time next week.